What's going on out there, good people? It is your boy Look Around with LMD Trading, and we are coming to you today with something a little different. We just got our daily trade review out of the way and just sitting here, and I figured I would make a quick video just going over the charts that I use in the mornings, and I'll actually use these charts in the afternoon as well. Usually I like to get in my overnight or my swing positions a little later in the day, unless it's just something that's really giving me a good signal to get in. But figured I'd make a video showing the charts and also showing the moving averages that I like to use on my charts. One I just added to my daily today. So if you watch my trade review for today, which is the 22nd of March, you would have seen that I did mention that one in the video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my charts pulled up and we'll get going through these. Hopefully this won't be a very long video. So, all right, so what we are looking at here, these are the charts that I use in the mornings, in the pre-market, when I am looking for my ideas. And one of the things that I did want to do today is to just go through the stocks that pretty much stay on my daily, I'll keep that one on there. On my daily watch list. So these stocks here always are on my daily watch list. This is my Fab Five that I like to call it. And then the market, the Qs and the SPY. But what I want to do, I'm going to start up here at the top. I'll clear off my price action lines. But if you do look, you see that those price action lines are some nice lines. This is Apple. We see when these things broke these lines, they made the moves that we anticipated them to make. So I'm going to clear this off. There we go. And just a quick overview. We have the 4 hour up here. And on the 4 hour, we have the, I want to say, let me check. So I'm giving good information. I want to say that's the 100-day. Yep. So that is the 100-day exponential moving average on the 4 hour. Then we have the daily chart. The daily chart has the 20 moving average, which is the red one. It has the 50 moving average. This is a solid line, not like the broken line that's on these. So this 50 moving average is set to the daily time frame. And then we have the 200 simple moving average. We'll click that real quick. So actually, yeah, we have the 20 simple moving average. We have the 50 exponential and the 200 simple moving average. So that's our daily chart. These two charts we use for a longer term or longer time frame analysis. So here we're looking at a longer time frame analysis. Then we have the hourly chart with the 50 moving average set to the hourly time frame. Then we have the 5-minute chart with the VWAP. That's this amber or gold colored broken line. And then we have the 50 moving average set to the hourly time frame. And that one is a custom one that I made, and I'll show it to you real quick just so you can see. I can go in and I can set the time frame to whatever time frame I want it to. I can make it exponential or simple, or weighted, Wilders or Hall. I'm only familiar with those two, and on this one it's the exponential, and then it's just set to price close. So those are what I use for my trading and what I use in the pre-market to kind of get my bias on what the market is doing, as well as to get my bias on the intraday time frame. And if you look, this one here is Apple. If you look, Apple has been respecting the 100-day moving average. If we look, we can see that it comes up and it tested. We see here it's broken it. So Apple will be one that we'll look to see if it can hold when this pulls back, if it can hold the 100-day on the hourly. And the hourly is almost flatline, so it's not giving us whether it's in an uptrend or a downtrend. We come down to the daily. The daily has been pretty much every moving average has been in an uptrend other than the pullbacks, which we expect to see smaller time frames to pull back on those moving averages. But the 200 has just been in a steady uptrend. We come over to the shorter time frames. We see the hourly is clearly in an uptrend on the 50 moving average. And then we come to the 5-minute and it's pretty much just flatlined. It's just consolidating. So that's Apple. And we do see that it's respected all of those moving averages. So let's look at AMD. Let's see what AMD is doing. And we're going to look at it the same way. We'll start with the 4-hour chart. And we see here that the 100-day moving average is in a downtrend. So in this longer time frame, AMD is in a downtrend, and we see that it's been respecting the 100 moving average. It comes up, test, fail, comes up, test, fail. And actually, let me blow that back out. If we look at the daily, we see everything has been pretty much in an uptrend other than the pullbacks, which you're going to get those to come back down. But look what happened right here. It made this move and it set a lower high. Came down. It set another lower high. So these shorter moving averages, they're in a downtrend now. The 200 is still in an uptrend, but they converging right there. And if you watch my my review, I did mention that I did buy 2 puts and to hold overnight or swing position on AMD today with my stop just above the 50, because as we know, the market is going to do what the market will do. We just need to make sure that we're covering ourselves. So I did buy puts on that, but again, the 4-hour, it's in a downtrend. 20 and 50 is in a downtrend on the daily, while the 200 is still in an uptrend. Shorter time frame, hourly is in an uptrend, but it's kind of flattening over here. And we see that on the 5-minute, it's just consolidating between the 50 and the VWAP. And it's kind of consolidating down here on this lower end. But just like we were saying on the 4-hour, where it's respecting the 100, look at how on the 5-minute, it's respecting the 50 moving average. It's coming down and it's bouncing. It's coming down and it's bouncing. And now it's just in this range that it's trading in. And we come up to the hourly, we see the same thing. It's just test, bounce, test. But here, it's not bouncing. It's just consolidating down. So that's AMD, how we're reading it on these charts. So let's go to Facebook. Let's look at Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of my lines and everything off of it. Try to clean the chart up a little bit. Start up here at the 4-hour. Again, clearly respecting the 100-day moving average. It is clearly respecting it here. It gapped way down it gapped way down and it's just been dropping, just been kind of bleeding off down. But now it's pulling back up to the 100. It's pulling back up to the 100. With no real resistance until about right there. I'm gonna just for let me get where I'm supposed to be. There we go. I dropped this line just because. And look where that line goes to, right to the 100. So is this gonna break this line? I'll drop a line right there. If this breaks and holds this line, which is 216, this here has room back up to 237, which is the 100 moving average. But let's take a look at it on the daily. This is how we want to see them. The 20, the 50, the 200, all in an uptrend. And then we see where failure happened. Kind of consolidated and then it dropped. It dropped. And on this chart, these, I'm gonna blow this up. These lines here are the same lines that we just dropped up here. Look at where we said this was coming up to on the hourly. On the daily, it's the 50 moving average. That's confirmation. This is confirmation. We'll look at the hourly chart. Again, the hourly is in an uptrend, short term. It's in a short term uptrend. And on the 5-minute, it just pretty much consolidated the morning after it made this move. And look at it. It's just trading right around VWAP. Right around VWAP. So Facebook, I would be looking for Facebook. If it breaks the high of today, so if tomorrow, if it breaks that high, Facebook has a good chance to come back up to 238. So this one would be one that if it made that move, I will possibly be buying calls on Facebook to go back up to 238. Now, once it gets back up to 238, it's going to hit resistance. It's going to hit resistance as we see on the 4-hour, and it's resistance on the daily. So that's how I would be playing Facebook. So I will definitely be watching Facebook in the next day or two. If it can break today's high, if it can break the little top and tail right there, it has room. And look at, I'm gonna drop this line right on the top and tail. And then I'm gonna extend that to the left and have you look and see what it's hitting. Extend to the left. It's right there where it had another little area of support where it bounced it back up. So if we can get that to break that area, I'll be interested in getting some calls on Facebook. But let's go ahead. Let's check out Microsoft. Again, I'm going to remove my lines. I can easily add those tomorrow. Look at that. Again, on the 4-hour, it is respecting the 100 moving average. Rejected it, rejected it, rejected it, rejected it, and now it's broken it. It didn't reject it here. So this is one that'll be interesting. This will be one to, let's see in a few days if this continues higher, pulls back, and it holds, or is it just going to fail? But we do see that the 100 is in a downtrend. It's in a downtrend on the 4-hour. Let's look at the daily. 20, 50, 200 stacked up how we want them, but came up, hit this little stage 3 area, and now it's coming back down. We got lower highs and lower lows coming back down. Again, it is it. We see that it was testing the 50, testing the 50, testing the 50, and we see today it broke over the 50 and the 200. So again, will this continue to move higher, pull back, and hold? On the shorter time frame, just like the other ones, we see that the 50 is in an uptrend. We see that it has been getting tested and holding. We see that it's been trading right around the VWAP, on the 5-minute. So this one here, will it continue higher, pull back, test and hold, or will it just reject it? It just peekabooed over to get some people to shake out, and is it going to reject and go lower? So that's one to kind of keep an eye on. I don't really trade Microsoft too much, but reading the chart, that's how I would read it. All right, NVDA. Let's clear them again. NVDA is a little choppier, but again, we see it's respecting the 100. Test and reject, kind of peekaboo, rejected, kind of peekaboo, rejected. Just chopped around, and yesterday and today it has broken the 100, which I'm sure is going to be breaking the 50 down there. And we see this has been in a fairly downtrend, but look at how it's kind of curling back up now. That 100 is kind of curling back up. On the daily, again, we have them stacked like you want to see them. The red, the teal, and the green going up, but stage 3, and it kind of rolled back over. Again, retesting the 50 and failing. We'll come up here to the hourly, shorter time frame. It's in an uptrend. So trading in a shorter time frame, we would be looking to go long because it's in an uptrend. Longer time frame, it's in a downtrend that's kind of curling. And then, of course, today it just traded flat after the morning session. So that's NVDA. We hadn't really taken any trades on NVDA recently. I'm going to skip Actually, we'll take a peek at it. We'll take a peek. This is one that just, it popped on my, on one of my watch lists. So I pulled it up. And let's go ahead, clear all of the lines and everything off of it. Let's clear. This one I put on my watch list this morning because, and that's all the way out. Okay. If you look at this on the daily, it had been in a funk going down everything. So usually in an uptrend, you got the 20, the 50, the 200. In a downtrend, you're going to have the 200, the 50, and the 20. So we see that this has clearly been in a downtrend. But look at this cross that it made right there with the 20 and the 50 crossing the 200. And look at that move that it's made in the last few days. So this was one that I just was kind of watching to see. If we look right here and we put a line there, I think if this stock breaks this area right here, I think this stock is going to pop. I think NVOS is going to pop. I think it will pop. This one has had some big days in the past. Let me see if I can find. I'll pull up just this one here just so you can see. This stock is trading down at $3 right now, but it's had some pretty big days. Got a good spike there up to 15. So this has the potential to maybe pop up to this $6 range, which would be that next area right there. So keep an eye on NVOS. We're gonna see. That's just one that I'm kind of case studying right now. But let's look at the Qs and then we'll look at the SPY, and then I'm gonna wrap this one up. But this here's the Qs. Again, it's respecting the 100. That's nothing new. We're seeing that this 100 moving average gets respected on this longer time frame, on this 4-hour time frame. So each of these candles represents 4 hours. And we see that it's in a downtrend on this longer time frame. It's in a downtrend. But like the other ones, it has broken. It has broken it. So will we get a continued move, pull back and hold? Or is this just a peekaboo and it's going to continue down? We'll see. But these are what I use when I'm looking to determine whether or not I want to buy options that I'll be trading over a few days and not just intraday trading. We look at the daily, same 20, 50, 200. It was in an uptrend until it came right here to November, kind of consolidated, kind of topped up, and then it just in that little stage 4 coming back down. So we'll need another little chop for a stage 1, and then it'll get back into another uptrend. But we see that it broke the 50. It's gonna will this make a move up to the 200 and reject? Will it come up? Will it hold the 50 and then just be in between the 200? Or will it just reject altogether? Come over to the hourly, as with the other ones. Shorter time frame, it's in an uptrend. We clearly see that on the 50 moving average. And if we just go from, Friday, it was at 341. Today, it's at 356. It is clearly in an uptrend on the shorter time frame. It's trading above the VWAP, which is good, and it's well above the 50. So, shorter time frame, we'd probably look to play calls. Longer time frame, once we get confirmation, we'd be looking for this to continue going lower. And my favorite that I like to trade is the SPY. Let's take a look at the SPY. Before I get rid of my drawings on there, look at this. This is a channel that I drew. Look at that thing trading right in the channel, other than where we had this huge movement down on this day. It got back in the channel and it's just trading in the channel, and it's broken out of that channel strong. It has broken out of that channel strong. It is now over the 100-day moving average. Again, will it pull back, test and hold, or will it just fail and continue going lower? That's what we'll have to see. But it is in a downtrend. It is in a downtrend, slightly curling. Again, we look at the daily. We got the 20, 50, and the 200 stacked like we want to see them. Again, right there in November, chopped around. First of the year, sold off. Got below the 200 moving average for the first time in 2 years. Last time that it's been below the 200 was in 2020. We all know that that was COVID. Came back up, tested the 50, rejection. Came back up, tested the 20, rejected. And now it has broken the 20, it has broken the 50, and it has broken the 200. But will it hold? That's long time, the longer time frame. Shorter time frame, like everything else, it's been an uptrend, testing the 50, and it's moving up. So if we were making purchases as it tested the 50 and putting our stop just below it, we would be getting paid. think about it. You had bought a call on this day. The stock was at 440. This was Monday. This was yesterday. Had you bought a call as it tested the 50, playing it to bounce off the 50, put your stop maybe $1 or $2 below it, and buy a call and hold it, you would be up $10 right now. You would be up $10. So if you bought the $50 or if you bought the 450 strike price, you're already there. But that's because this chart is telling you that it's in an uptrend, and it's been, every time that it's come to the 50, it's held. Let's flip back through real quick. The cues. This is what I was talking about though. If it comes down, you have to put your stop down there to give you some wiggle room so that you don't get stopped out. So that's the cues. Let's look at NVDA, see if it has. It hadn't really came all the way down and tested it. It did test it here. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft, same thing. Comes down, test, comes up. So you could, if it gets in this area, and I always say that price action and moving averages, they're an area. So it may come down like it did right there. Look at that. That was Monday again. 294. You buy a call as it's coming to the 50, knowing that from previous times it's bounced. Set your stop down there. That's up $10 again. That's 295, 305. That's a $10 move. You can buy a call contract $10 out the money for a fairly cheap price. Fairly cheap price. Let's look at Facebook real quick. Same thing. Tested it, it held. Came back, tested it, it held. So if you bought this one right here, again, putting that stop down there, give it a couple of dollars wiggle room. Look at what it did. That's 207, 219. It's a $12 move. $12 move. That's nice. AMD. AMD is choppy. AMD is choppy. Right here, you definitely would have gotten stopped out, but I really doubt you would have tried to get in on this huge red candle. But we still do see that it's respecting the 50. But this was one that I did say, I'm expecting this to go back down. I'm expecting this to break this. And this here just kind of giving you an idea that, yeah, it hadn't held like those other ones that we just looked at. And let's look at Apple and we'll be done. Look at Apple. It's a range. It's an area. Comes back that same little distance. And it's just been going up. Don't like this one as well as I've liked the Qs and the SPY, where it came right down to it and then bounced. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. This was actually a little longer than I thought it would be. I didn't think I would get this caught up in it, but I love these charts. They talk to you. And if you can understand the language, you can make money. And I'm still learning the language. I'm still learning the language. It's like any second language. So I am trying to learn the language of charts. And I will look to continue to make these videos. And if you're interested, hopefully we can learn that language together. I'm sure a lot of y'all that have been watching my videos are more educated and more versed in this. And I definitely enjoy the comments. I enjoy the conversations. I like seeing what other people do in the market, because everybody's trading strategy is going to be a little different. I don't think there are no two people that trade these same exact strategies, because three of us can be trading the same stock at the same time and we will be trading it three different ways. So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, and we will see you at a later date. Peace.